Good morning, everyone. Ever since quarantine started, I've been dying to make videos about Marvel Studios and all the happenings of the MCU, but 2020 really hasn't provided much to talk about. But today, we are blessed with a new trailer for WandaVision. As a warning, we are going to get into some potentially spoiler territory, and we're going to speculate about some of the characters that show up and that have been revealed. So if this is at all going to ruin your experience, please don't blame me for continuing to watch. Let's check out the video in its full glory.
Heavenly shades of night are falling. It's twilight time.
Wanda and Vision, aren't we a five-pair?
This is our home now. I want us to fit in.
Oh, this is gonna be a gas!
Where did you two move from? How long have you been married? And why don't you have children yet?
Our story.
I think what my wife means to say is that we moved from...
Moved from where? Married when? Damn it, why?
Oh, Arthur, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Deep in the dark, your kiss will bloom
Is this really happening?
like days of old, lighting the spark of love that fills me with dreams of love.
Am I dead?
No. Why would you think that?
Because you are.
Each day I pray for evening just to be.
We are an unusual couple, you know.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
So let's take a moment to kind of break this down. I'm going to play this video at about half speed, so you're not going to hear any audio, but I'll kind of be pointing out things as I see it, and we'll kind of go from there and see what we get. On first impression, it's done really, really well. It's kind of gets you the feel and tone of the show right off the bat, which I really am intrigued by. This opening sequence, the song that plays is Twilight Time by the Platters. I don't know much about the song. I'll have to dissect the lyrics and see if there's any foretelling in there. In this opening sequence, I do want to note the sign on the back of the car. It says "Just Married." So I would assume that this is sometime after the events of Endgame and Infinity War, when things have kind of settled down and calmed down. Scarlet Witch wasn't very present at the end of Endgame, so it'll be interesting to see what her mental state was. The last time we saw her was at Tony Stark's funeral. So we'll have to kind of see. Also note the license plate on here is 102. So we'll have to kind of see if that plays a factor. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but I mean, to be honest, nothing ever is. This show is says to be jumping through a couple of eras of sitcom, so we have a little bit of an I Love Lucy feel here. This line is quite telling. The one that she... right here, this line is quite telling. Scarlet having to explain to Vision how they find themselves here. This is our life now, so to speak. I'm sure there's something on this newspaper. It's too unclear to kind of see, so it may not be that big of a deal, but we can tell that there's older appliances here. Nobody stacks their dishes that way. Check out that fridge being super old. Here we have Scarlet changing Vision's face as he's, I'm assuming, going to work or maybe coming. This is our first look at Catherine Hahn's character, the noisy neighbor, when she was announced. It isn't clear, it hasn't been openly stated as to who she is, but we'll kind of speculate about that a little bit later on. Check out the M is very prominent here. Mesa du Montpres is French translation for the House of Contempt. So maybe Scarlet has put herself here on purpose. Maybe she's the one in contempt, as she's trying to set the table here. In this conversational sequence, Elizabeth Olsen is so good. She's asked where they've come from, and they don't really know their story. They can't really kind of explain it, but Scarlet and Elizabeth Olsen is playing this very, very well. Paul Bettany also stammers and tries to answer the question. This portion, I remember, gets to be really quite dark as they flash forward and back. Seems to be Vision figuring something out there. This fast cut sequence is really kind of interesting, slowed down. See how the screen changes a little bit, flashes. Sure, rewinds the clock there. Looks like Scarlet might be rewinding the clock, and maybe we'll jump into another time period. Because this next sequence has like full color now. So that's interesting. A little bit more Brady Bunch feel. This, I want to pause here because this looks to be confirming that we are going to get the twins, both Speed and Wiccan. If you guys don't know by now, Speed and Wiccan are essentially Wanda's kids who she didn't give birth to, but manifested them in the comics themselves. They go on to be actual characters and part of a team called the Young Avengers, which we've been steadily building for. Now that we have a confirmed Kate Bishop, we also have a young Lang, and then we have another character that we'll see in this clip as well that is a part of this Young Avengers team. Another shot at Catherine Hahn's character. We've already seen this. I want to wind back. Another shot at Catherine Hahn's character that we do have the noisy neighbors. She's going to be a prominent figure throughout this series. So more on her in a little bit here. This is probably going to take place during the Halloween episodes that we're getting. We have classic comic book accurate Scarlet Witch here. So this looks to be during the Halloween scenes because we have some pumpkins out here. We have Vision in his full gear, in his MCU uniform, taking off the sky, and it looks like he has the Mind Stone, which is still maybe he's still able to use the powers of it because we'll see a flash of it later on. Here, I want to pause it here because we do have. I want to pause it here because we do have a clip of Vision's tattered cape. So whether or not that's, with the fight of Infinity War or after, maybe his last shot of himself. Here we see Catherine Hahn's character dressed as a witch. And at this point, I want to confirm that this, at this point, I want to say that this probably confirms Catherine Hahn's character as Agatha Harkness, who's a witch in the comics. Has been around for some time, but she helps Wanda control her powers, kind of take hold of her abilities. Whether or not she's the antagonist is to be determined, but with the sinister laugh that comes afterward, it might be a kind of a dead giveaway here. It looks like Vision is able to use his powers of the Mind Stone to kind of awaken her, so to speak, because this line is great. She shows that Catherine Hahn's character says, asks the question, "Am I dead?" And Vision responds with, "Why would you think that?" So Catherine Hahn's character is likely aware of what is happening, what has happened before, what happened with the Vision, how he died, and now with the power of the Mind Stone, may be able to kind of bring her own consciousness into this world that Wanda has created. Looking very, very puzzled. That laugh, that's very, very sinister. Lots of wordplay here. If you remember, Baron von Strucker referred to the twins, Wanda and Quicksilver in this case, as a new age of miracles in a post-credit scene. So bringing back a visionary new age is probably a callback to that. We have Vision in his comic book accurate uniform as well, likely to be during the Halloween episode, given the pumpkins and whatnot around. This scene is likely after the fast forward in time where they were changing colors from black and white into color, since Wanda is kind of upgrading her TV and furniture here. WandaVision television, nice. So this is our first glimpse at another character. She looks to be flying through what appears to be daylight, maybe inside of this reality. Then she goes through what seems like a TV screen right here. You know, when a TV screen would trip out a little bit. And then she enters into darkness, all surrounded by these bright lights. I don't see any logos or emblems or agents or anything like that, but this is a site of interest, maybe a shield site or a sword site of interest that's obviously happening during the evening. Here we have Taya Paris. Paris's character is the all-grown-up Monica Rambeau. The younger version of Monica Rambeau first appeared in Captain Marvel, so perhaps she's now an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or SWORD here. In the comics, Monica Rambeau does pick up some powers similar to that of Captain Marvel in terms of visually. She does pick up the mantle of Captain Marvel and also has some other aliases as Photon, Pulsar, and most recently as Spectrum. Here we have the last kind of dialogue that they are an odd pair, which I've always thought that. Even in the comics, it's always been rather fun though to kind of see them play out. Title screen of WandaVision. And then we also have exclusively on Disney Plus. So if you guys don't already have that now, here we have the coming soon dates. So there's essentially no official date, but I would suspect sometime this year. Why release the trailer this late in the year if you're not planning on putting it out this year? But again, no official date. I believe originally the plan was for Falcon Winter Soldier to come out first because Black Widow would have been out. But it looks like since Black Widow is sidelined, that Falcon Winter Soldier will also be pushed into 2021, given that Black Widow doesn't have a release date yet. But this show essentially only leads into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not there's a bigger villain that's, behind the scenes pulling strings here, maybe something like Mephisto or something. But I don't want to keep you guys for too long. I just wanted to share my thoughts on the trailer, what we got out of this. As we get more content from Marvel, I'll definitely be posting more reactions, Easter eggs, and breakdowns just like this. So thank you again for your comments. Any commentary is always greatly appreciated. So until next time, though, be safe, do good, and I will see you soon.